Now welcome to the basic mechanics class, and today we are going to learn the routine maintenance on how to maintain your motor vehicle. Are we together? Now we have function and components of the vehicle layouts. Function and components of the vehicle layouts. Gari huwa inakuwa na components nyingi, but kuna zile important you as a driver to know them. Are we together? So you have the first one, you have engine, then you have cooling system, you have starting system, you have lubrication system, you have clutch, and also you have braking system. Now engine, let me start with the engine. Engine, it is a primary source of power, or engine, it is the power unit of the motor vehicle. Engine, it is the primary source of power, or engine, it is the power unit of the motor vehicle. In a way that all these components here that are being attached, they cannot work without the engine being cranked, start, or turned. Tuko. Namaanisha zile vitu zote zinakuwa pale katika engine ama katika gari nzima haziwezi kufanya kazi kama engine ya gari itakuwa haingurumi. Tuko. Alafu ya pili tuko nao ni cooling system. Nakuta during combustion, the engine experience the high temperature that can lead your motor vehicle or your engine to overheating. So function ama the main function of the cooling system in a motor vehicle is to cool the engine, or it allows the engine to work at its normal working temperature without overheating. The main function of the cooling system is to cool the engine, or it allows the engine to work at its normal working temperature without overheating. Then we have starting system. We have starting system. Function of the starting system in a motor vehicle is to crank the engine until it can operate under its own power. Kazi ya starting system katika gari huwa ni kungurumisha gari peke yake. Mposa wakati gari itakuwa imekubali kunguruma, haturuhusiwi kushikilia ufunguo wa gari. Sawa? Endapo utaenda kushikilia ufunguo, unakuta ile starting system, utakwenda ukafanya nini? Ukaichoma. Tuko. Then we have lubrication system. We have lubrication system. Function of the lubrication system in a motor vehicle is to ensure that oil is being supplied to every rubbing surfaces and also it smoothen the engine parts. Umuhimu wa oil katika gari huwa ni lubricate the moving parts of the engine. Also, oil it acts as a coolant. Oil it also acts as a coolant. Sawa? Kwa sababu gani? Wakati gari utakuwa unaendesha na engine ama oil hakuna oil katika engine, the temperature ama unajua mali kuna friction, kuna raise heat, si ndio? Of which the engine will overheat. Also, we have the clutch. Now, what are the major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle? What are the major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle? Now, we have the three major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle. We have the three major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle. The first one, we have switching on. So we have the three major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle. Three major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle. The first one, we have switching on the motor vehicle. Also, we have changing. We have changing of gears. And the last one, we have reducing the speed or stopping the motor or stopping the motor vehicle. These are the three major functions of the clutch in a motor vehicle. The first one, we have switching on the motor vehicle. The second one, we have changing of gears, and the last one, we have reducing the speed or stopping the motor vehicle. Now, between these three major functions that we have of the clutch, which is the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle? Between switching on the motor vehicle, changing of gears, and reducing the speed, which is the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle? Now, the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle is to engage and disengage the gears, or changing of gears. That's the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle. Sorry? So, the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle, I've said that, is to engage and disengage the motion, or connecting and disconnecting of gears, or changing of gears. That's the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle. Why? Switching on the motor vehicle, this is not the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle. Why? You have other cars, as long as the gear will be neutral, you can switch on your motor vehicle without using the clutch. Even reducing the speed, we can also reducing the speed but not stopping the motor vehicle. We can also reduce the speed without using the clutch. But we cannot change the gears without using the clutch. So the main function of the clutch in a motor vehicle is to engage and disengage the motion. Also, we have braking system. We have braking system, of which the main function of the brake in a motor vehicle is to provide a means of stopping or reducing the speed. Function of the braking system is to provide a means of stopping or reducing the speed. That's the main function of the brake in a motor vehicle. Now, between clutch and the brake which stops the motor vehicle, between clutch and the brake which stops the motor vehicle, between clutch and the brake, the one which stops the motor vehicle, it is the brake and not the clutch. It is the brake, sorry, and not the clutch. That's the main thing that stops the motor vehicle. But it is a must or advisable that we must use the clutch first before we apply the brake, only to avoid the engine disconnection. Wanafunzi wengi huwa wanachanganyikiwa kati ya clutch na brake ni gani ambayo inasimamisha gari, si ndio? Mostly tunajua ni brake ambayo inasimamisha gari, si ndio? Lakini kama tutakuwa tuna drive gari alafu tushikile brake bila kutumia gari, what happens? Gari huwa inazima, si ndio? Gari na jack inazima. So it is advisable or it is a must first to switch to use the clutch before you apply the brake, only to avoid the engine disconnection. Kuzuia gari isiweze kuzima. Hiyo ndio muhimu wa nini? Wa clutch katika gari. Nani ana swali? Naam. Oh, wait a moment. Niwapatie causes kabisa, alafu okay, sawa. Ngoja kidogo. Sinatafuta hii. Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Everything?
Yeah.
Causes of engine overheating. We have causes of engine overheating. Now, what are the main causes of engine overheating? What are the main causes of engine overheating? The first one, we have insufficient water. Have insufficient water. That one can lead your engine to overheating. Secondly, we have insufficient, let me write it, insufficient, have insufficient oil in your motor vehicle. Also, that one can lead your engine to overheating. The third one, we have leakages. We have leakages. Fourth, we have blockage. Then you have defective fan. Then we have driving at a long distance without stopping. This one also can lead the engine to overheating without stopping. Without stopping. What else do we have? We have insufficient water, insufficient oil, we have leakages, we have blockage, we have defective fan, we have driving at a long distance without stopping, and the last one, we have insufficient coolant. We have insufficient coolant. Coolant, this is a special fluid which assists the water to cool the engine. Coolant, this is a special fluid which assists the water to cool the engine. Also, we have causes of engine troubleshooting. We have the causes of engine troubleshooting. Kuna zile sababu ambazo zinafanya gari inakataa kuwaka. Kuna sababu ambazo zinafanya gari inakataa kuwaka. We have causes of engine troubleshooting. The first one, we have insufficient water. Kama gari itakuwa haina mafuta. We have insufficient water. The pili, we have defective battery. Also, we have loose terminals. Also, we have fuses, because we have other starting system which are associated with them, with the fuses. So these are the main causes of engine troubleshooting. Moja, tunakuta kama gari itakuwa haina mafuta. Ya pili, we have defective battery, kama battery itakuwa na matatizo. Ya tatu, tuko nao ni loose terminal, kama terminals za batteries zitakuwa ziko loose, the battery terminals. The last one we have fuses. Sawa. Also, we have causes of brake. Have causes of brake failure. Sababu za kufanya gari ikatae kushika brakes. Causes of brake failure. The first one, we have insufficient brake fluid. Then we have blockage in the brake master cylinder. And the third one, we have leakages also in the brake master cylinder. So these are the main causes of brake failure. The first one, we have insufficient brake fluid, we have blockage in the brake master cylinder, and the last one, we have leakages also in the brake pipes. Are we together? Also, we can add oily brakes. Oily brakes. Also, this one can lead your motor vehicle to overheating. Also, we have overheating in the braking system, or in the brake pads, or in the brake lining shoes. Also, these ones can lead your motor vehicle to fail the brakes. Ya kwanza, kama brake fluid itakuwa hakuna. Ya pili, kama brake master cylinder itakuwa imeblock. Ya tatu, kama kutakuwa na leakages katika brake pipes nyingine. Kama kutakuwa na brake zako zimeingia mafuta, ndio ukiapply brakes kwa kuna zinateleza. Alafu ya mwisho, one overheating. Zile brakes pia ukiziadjust sana zikiwa juu, zikipata heat huwa zinafanya nini? Zinakataa kufanya kazi. Sawa?
Yeah, about transmission system, I need you to explain shortly about transmission system, how it works, because the transmission system, it is the process whereby the power produced by the running engine is being transmitted to the road wheels. So I need you to explain very shortly how it works. Yeah.
Okay, you said that the engine can overheat due to driving over long distances.
Without stopping.
Yeah, without stopping. Now, what about these buses that I see being driven for long distances? Some take like the distance from Nairobi to Mombasa, that's 500 kilometers, some without stopping. So I've never seen any of them breaking down.
Vile wakati gari ikitembea iko kwa motion, kuna ile engine oil ambayo inawekwa kwa sump. So kama imewekwa kwa sump, nataka unielezee kwa sababu ikiwekwa kwa sump huwa ikienda kuna kitu kule chini ambayo ya pig aleta mpaka huko kwa various parts of the engine kama nini hizi naitwaje valves nini. So nataka unielezee inafika vipi kule na kuna njia ngapi ambazo zinaweza fanya oil kutoka kwa sump ifike kule juu.
Part ya kwanza, we have the cylinder head or the cylinder box. The cylinder head, this is the first part. Then the second part, we have the engine block. We have the engine block. And the last one, we have the sump. This is the storage tank of the oil. So wakati utakuwa umeka oil katika gari, the oil normally penetrates. Huwa inapita, inakuja paka wapi? Katika sump, si ndio? Sababu it is the storage tank. Then here we have something called crankshaft. There's something called crankshaft. Crankshaft, hii ni ile shaft yenye imeshikilia nini? Zile piston. Unajua piston? Kwa zile cylinders pale ndani. Sawa? So the lubrication system huwa inafanya kazi hivi wakati engine itakuwa ina run. The crankshaft it normally splash the oil. Sawa? Inairusha. Sababu since ina rotate, inafanya nini? Ina splash kutoka chini kwenda wapi? Kwenda juu. So since kuna zile ways ama the oil ways inakuja na kufanya nini? Ikisplash huko lubricate. Also the oil is not supposed to penetrate ikuja wapi? Katika engine block. That's why katika piston, let's say this is the piston. you have rings. You have the rings, the piston rings. Because the piston rings katika gari, you have compression rings and also have lubrication rings. Zinazuia ile oil isiweze kuenda through. Sawa? Then we have the transmission system. We also have the transmission system. We have the transmission system. Quickly. Now here we have the cooling system, then you have the engine, you have the clutch, also you have the gearbox. Then you have the propeller shaft, which transmit the motion to the differential unit. This is the cooling system. We have the engine, we have the clutch, we have the gearbox, we have the propeller, we have the propeller shaft, we have differential unit, we have road wheels. What else do we have? We have the chassis. This is the chassis. So transmission system huwa inafanya kazi hivi. Wakati engine na gari itakuwa imewashwa, sawa, inanguruma, transmission system kazi yake huwa ni kutransmit the motion from the gearbox to the differential unit. In short, huwa watu wanaita diff. Nasikia diff ya gari, diff, si ndio? So function of the transmission system huwa ni kutransmit the motion. Inachukua motion from the engine or from the gearbox, transmitting it to the differential unit. Then from differential unit here inakuwa divided to the road wheels. That's why a motor vehicle or any motor vehicle cannot work without the transmission system. Hata kama engine na gari itakuwa iko but transmission system hakuna, gari haiwezi move. Unaweza engage gear lakini hakuna connection na kutransmit, kuipatia iweze fanya nini? Kutembea. Sawa? We have the axle. We have the axle. We have the axle. Okay, this type of a motor vehicle, this is a front engine, rear wheel drive. This is a front engine but a rear wheel drive. We have so many types of motor vehicle. We have front engine, front wheel drive mostly for saloon cars. Then we have front engine, rear wheel drive starting from pickups, matatu, buses onwards. Then we have rear engine, rear wheel drive like Volkswagen or tuk-tuk, something like that. Then we have middle engine, maybe the rear or in front wheel drive. So transmissioning of the system, this is the axle, and this is the road wheels. Ikikuja hapa inakuwa divided to the road wheels using the axles. Tuko. Also, we have the overheating. Driving at a long distance without stopping, this one can lead your motor vehicle to overheating in a way that most vehicles ama zile buses zenye kuna sema zikitravel from Nairobi to Mombasa au Mombasa to Nairobi, zikifika pale huwa haziruhusiwi kuzimwa at that moment. Kwa sababu gani? Inaachwa iweze kurun ili irudi at its normal working temperature, then you can switch off your engine or motor vehicle. Ukikuja ukizima immediately, the first thing your engine will knock ama ita seize, ambayo itakuja kata tena kufanya nini? Work, of which you'll have to replace it with another new engine. Tuko. Then spark plugs. You have the spark. You have the spark plugs. Function of the spark plug in a motor vehicle huwa is to produce spark to the motor vehicle. Spark. Let me have something stage. This is an example. Have something like this. So these are spark plug, of which kazi yake huwa ni kuproduce spark katika nini? Katika gari. Without spark plug gari yako haiwezi ikatembea. Also, tuko na compression, which it is the CI injection. Mostly CI inapatikana katika zile gari za kutumia diesel. Then we have spark injection or injector, whichever way, which is the SI, mostly for petrol cars, zile gari ndogo. Sawa? So kazi ya spark plug katika gari huwa ni kuproduce spark, ama inachoma ile air fuel mixture katika combustion chamber. Sawa? So hiyo ndo kazi ya spark plug katika gari. Kazi yake ni kuproduce. Ndio maana kama spark plug moja itakuwa haifanyi kazi, unasia gari ina miss, gari ina backfire, gari ina lose power, sababu kuna kwa nini? Spark moja yenye haiproduce moto. Tuko? This is how the motor vehicle operates. The first thing, we have induction. Then you have compression. Then after induction, after compression, you have power. And then lastly, you have exhaust. Are you together? Tuko hapo hivyo. So wakati induction inafanyika, because mostly gari inakuwa na piston 4, mostly zile gari ndogo. Hii iko inafanya induction, the second one inafanya compression. Sababu induction ilishamaliza, the last one inafanya power, ilishamaliza all the three, and the last one inafanya nini? Exhaust. Sawa? So kama kutakuwa na moja it is defective, ifanye kazi, the engine will not work properly. Sawa? Tutakuwa na maybe misfiring, ama gari itakuwa na overheat. Sorry, itakuwa na lose power. Sawa? Another thing.
Now that you've joined Unik driving school, we want us to look at some of the qualities of a good driver. Kuna zile qualities ambazo driver mzuri anapaswa awe nazo. So one of them, a good driver must be obedient. You must, as a good driver, you must obey the traffic signs at all times at no cost. Always you must obey the traffic signs, you must obey the traffic regulations, and you must obey the traffic rules at all time. A good example is when you're driving with a motor vehicle and you're a driver and you've seen a sign, for example, a stop sign, you must be ready to obey that sign. That stop sign, you find it maybe at a road junction, at the sharp bends, you must obey the stop sign, stuff like that. So it does not mean that when you're driving the motor vehicle and there is a sign there, whether there is a car or there is no car, you just proceed. You must obey that sign. Number two, a good driver must be respectful. It's very important to be respectful to other road users. Yeah? Please avoid using abusive language. Kama dereva mzuri, tafadhali usitumie lugha chafu kama dereva wengine, kama matusi. Dereva wengine huwa na kiburi. Please avoid such issues, such qualities. They are not good to a good driver. Lazima uwe na nidhamu barabarani ili kuwa na utangamano na amani pale barabarani. Third, a good driver must be intelligent. Driver must be intelligent. What do I mean? A good driver, you must have sound judgment. Driver mzuri lazima uweze kufanya uamuzi ambao unafaa at all the time. You must make good judgment when driving the motor vehicle. You must know when to overtake. A good driver ushafanya calculation. You know you're approaching a roundabout. You know you're approaching the road junction. You want to overtake a motor vehicle. You must be able to give enough calculations so that maybe you can overtake with ease and faster. So you must be intelligent. That's what we mean. Another quality for a good driver is you must have some patience. When you're driving a motor vehicle, kama unaendesha gari, maybe katika highway, ama katika within town and there's a traffic jam, as a good driver, you must be patient at all time. Avoid things like overlapping, avoid things like overspeeding. Yeah? They can actually lead to road accident. Now, another quality of a good driver, you must have courtesy. Courtesy ni uweze kujali madereva wengine ukiwa unapeleka gari barabarani. Dereva mzuri lazima uweze kuwajali watumiaji wa barabara wengine. Hata kama ni haki yako kutumia barabara, na mwana mwenzako ameingia, ni vizuri umwache aende mwanzo. It's good for you to hold on, let him go fast before you proceed. Yeah? It costs nothing if actually wait for around 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, you won't lose anything. But sometimes some of the drivers, they feel that if I'm on the right track, then I should not give way to any other person. Yeah, as a good driver, you must be courtesy to other road users. You're doing a motor vehicle, umepata mwenzako labda mpata pancha barabarani, you must be ready to give that helping hand. Unapeleka gari, mwenzako gari imeharibika barabarani, tafadhali kama driver mzuri, umeona umeweka life saver, ni vizuri uangalie huyu jamaa ameweka life saver, labda anataka usaidizi fulani. As a good driver, you stop your motor vehicle, go and check what the problem might be. Another quality of a good driver, driver mzuri, you must be careful. Careful, lazima uweze kuchukua gari vizuri to give it longer life. Uweze kuchukua gari vizuri to achieve smooth drive. Uweze kuchukua gari vizuri so that motor vehicle can actually perform inavyotakikana. By being careful, not only to the motor vehicle, you must be careful to other road users as well. Yeah, you must be careful to other road users as well. Hebu stop hapo. Now, because kwa vile umejoin Unik driving school, there are some qualities that a driver must have. Not just a driver, but a good driver must have some qualities. A good driver must have some qualities. As a good driver, one of the qualities that you must have, one of them, you must be obedient. You must be obedient. What we call nidhamu. Driver mzuri, lazima uwe na nidhamu. Every time you're driving on the road, lazima uwe na nidhamu. You must be ready to obey the traffic signs, the traffic rules, and the traffic regulations all the time when you're driving the motor vehicle on the road. If you fail to obey the traffic rules, there are some consequences. Some of the consequences won't be good to you. You won't like them. Yeah? A good example, the traffic signs. Signs are normally divided into 3 classes. There is class A, class B, and class C. Class A are referred to as regulatory signs. Regulatory signs, as a good driver, you must obey them all the time. Remember the name, they are all called regulatory. Regulatory. You must obey them all the time. These signs here, they're normally authoritative. Signs under class A, they're normally authoritative. They just dictate. The signs will give instructions. We say these signs that they are authoritative. They just give instructions. They give instructions and you must follow the instructions. Yeah? There are signs which will tell you to do one thing. There are signs which will tell you not to do the other thing. For example, you'll find a sign under class A that will tell you compulsory go straight. You must obey that and go where? Straight. There's a sign which will tell you no right turn. No right turn. You must obey that and don't turn to the right. So those signs, such signs, as a good driver, you must be ready to obey them. You'll find a sign, for example, a stop sign. For example, a stop sign. You must obey that stop or give way sign. Or a give way sign. Or a give way sign. As a good driver, you must obey the 2 signs. These signs here are referred to as major traffic signs or priority signs. As a good driver, you must be obedient to the signs. You must obey them. You must do what? Obey them at all the time. Unapeleka gari, umepata alama inasema lazima usimame. Kama kuna gari ama hakuna gari, lazima ufanye nini? Usimame. Kule kusimama is you know that you are obeying the signs. You are obeying the what? The signs. Now, number 2, a good driver must be respectful. Number 2, a good driver must be respectful. A good driver must be respectful. Respectful. Number 2, driver mzuri lazima uweze kuwa na heshima barabarani. Lazima uwe na heshima barabarani. Please avoid things like overspeeding kwa barabara if you want to become a good driver. Avoid things like maybe overlapping. using abusive language to other road users, yeah? Such stuff. As a good driver, avoid vitu kama hizo. Tunasema dereva mzuri lazima uwe na uko na heshima barabarani. Uheshimu wenzako ili wewe pia uweze kuheshimiwa. Respect is a two-way traffic. Is a give-take situation. Kama dereva mzuri lazima uweze kuwaheshimu watumiaji wengine wa barabara. Not you alone, not the signs alone, and other road users. You must respect them as a good driver. Number 3, dereva mzuri lazima awe na busara. What we call number 3, a good driver must be intelligent. Intelligent. It means that a good driver must be someone of sound judgment. Must be someone of sound judgment. Intelligent ni uwe na busara, uwe na hekima. Uwe na hekima. Kama dereva mzuri lazima wewe umeona barabara unaweza judge what speed can I travel at. You see, when you're driving the motor vehicle, sometimes, for example, a saloon car, maximum speed in town is 110 kilometers for saloon car. Sindio? Kama barabara ni safi na hakuna magari, you can drive up to the maximum required speed. Kama barabara haiko safi, unaona barabara si sawa, your IQ imekwambia kwa barabara si sawa, there's a sharp bend, either to the left or the right, you must make sound judgment. Another sign ambao kama dereva mzuri, you must know how to judge. For example, when sign like let's say children crossing. Let's say children crossing. Children crossing. Another one is pedestrian crossing. Pedestrian crossing. Now, as a good driver, you know that where children are crossing, children are quite different from pedestrian crossing. Pedestrian crossing ni watu wazima, watu na akili zao, si ndio? You can even hoot at them and they'll give way, si ndio? But children crossing, you cannot hoot at them because they are minors, they can't judge, si ndio? Mtoto kwa mfano akivuka barabara na ameangusha toy barabarani, labda mdoli ama boli, yeye ataregea kuchukua ile toy yake, si ndio? But mtu mzima kama anavuka barabara na wallet imeanguka, itabidi avuke mwanzo, gari kishapita, he'll come back to collect that, si ndio? So a good driver, you must know, you must be intelligent enough. Yeah? Umengurumisha gari, from the way the engine is running, you must tell. Let me give a good example. A small baby will cry because of several reasons. Maybe kama kuna joto, si ndio? Maybe he's hungry, he wants to sleep. As a mother, you must tell that this kid is crying maybe because I've not changed the diapers, he wants to sleep, he's sick or he's being irritated, something like that. Wewe kama dereva mzuri must be intelligent enough that ukingurumisha gari for the first time, you can tell that this car today is not actually running as normal. One, maybe the oil is less, yeah, or the oil is dirty, or the starter system is not working well. So as a good driver, you must be very, very intelligent. You must be very, very intelligent. Now, another quality of a good driver, you must have some patience. You must have some patience. Dereva mzuri ni yule ambayo ako na subra. Patience. Dereva mzuri lazima uwe na subra. Dereva mzuri lazima uwe na subra. Now, what we mean by being patient is that please avoid unnecessary rushing. Plan your journey according to the time. At least give yourself some allowance. If you're going on a long safari, you must know how to plan. Every time you want to travel, whether long or short distance, you must have some plan. Planning constitutes a lot. Time is also of essence. As a good driver, you must have some patience. What we actually mean, maybe I plan to move from point A to point B. When I was coming from home, I planned to move either from point A to point B, and along the way, there's an accident on the road. What do I do as a good driver? I must be able to wait. Please avoid things like overlapping. Yeah? whereby mtu anatoka kwa barabara ana overlap, either ana overtake to the left ama to the right, what you call katafunua. That is wrong. Avoid the use of, you see, when you're reading about the model town has got 3 rules. Number 1 says that always use the longest route, most correct, without using the parking zone. Sorry, always use the shortest route, most correct, without using the parking zone. Number 2, use the longest route, most correct, without using the parking zone. And number 3, use the parking zone as the last option. Number 1, anasema shortest. Number 2, longest. And number 3 is the parking. Number 3 is the parking. Now kule barabarani, kuna some facilities that can be substituted as a parking. For example, a refueling station, petrol station, sindio? Objective of petrol station is just to go and fuel the motor vehicle. But kama njia zimefungwa, you can use it as a way. Now, if you're not patient enough, you'll find a good driver, you'll find a driver who has no good qualities. He can even go and use the parking to overlap, which is very wrong. Driver mzuri, tafadhali kuwa mtu ambaye ana nini? Subra. If you delay for 5 or 10 minutes, I don't think you'll regret it. There's no need of hurrying, then you regret before the end of the journey. Mtu ametoka hapa hivi from point A, he's going to point B, he's very fast, he overlaps. After 5 minutes, accident tayari. After 5 minutes, polisi amemshika. Unajua kama kwa mfano uko na overlap, polisi akikushika, 1, you'll waste time trying to bargain with him, si ndio? 2, you don't know whether he'll pardon you ama atakupeleka ndani. But kama unafuata the right track, you will avoid all that. Waswahili wanasema kuwa kawia ufike. It's better to arrive alive, however late it might be. So a good driver, you must have some patience. Now, another quality of a good driver, please, lazima uwe mwangalifu. A good driver must be careful at all the time. A good driver must be careful. You must take good care of yourself as a good driver. How will you take good care of yourself? By grooming, careful to yourself. One, by taking adequate rest. By taking adequate rest. Two, the adequate rest is, you may drive for a longer time, you must have some time to rest, either to sleep or something like that. Number 2, you must have proper mental order, you must have proper health, you must groom yourself well. Kama unafanya kazi, you are employed to me, and you don't take good care of yourself, wewe huogi vizuri, wewe you coming to the job kama uko dirty, you're not taking enough rest, then you don't portray characters of a good driver. You don't have the qualities of a good driver. 2, you must have some, you must be physically fit. I don't mean that you must go to the gym to be physically fit, but you must at least, you attend medical, unaenda kutibiwa kama kwa mgonjwa, si ndio? You avoid driving when you are fatigued. 2, you must take care to the vehicle itself, to the motor vehicle itself. 2, you must take care to the motor vehicle itself. You must take care to the motor vehicle itself. To the motor vehicle. Ile gari ukipewa wewe, ni wajibu wako kuweza kuitunza vizuri siku zote, saa zote, si ndio? Taking good care of the motor vehicle is, for example, ile gari unaiosha most of the time. Kama wewe dereva, it's your responsibility kuosha ile gari iwe safi. There's some simple mechanical activities you can do. For example, changing of the oil. So 1, we say that you wash the motor vehicle, you wash it. 2, there's some regular check. There's some regular check. You take regular checks. For example, you check the oil, Yeah, check the oil using the dipstick. 2, you check the tire pressure. Yeah, so you see, you want the motor vehicle to achieve longer drive, a good drive. Sindio, wewe unajibu kuangalia zile tire pressure kama ziko sawa. You check the oil baada ya siku unacheck kama oil iko sawa. 3, unacheck maji, you check the water in the radiator. Water for cooling, yeah? You check water in the radiator. Yeah? Unaangalia maji katika radiator. As a good driver, unaangalia maji katika radiator, unacheck tire pressure. You check the nuts and bolts kwa motor vehicle. You are, when you're driving for a motor vehicle for a long time, those nuts, because of vibration, they tend to loosen. They tend to do what? To loosen. So maybe one Sunday, one afternoon, you can actually take time and tighten those nuts, and we'll check them. Maybe zile nuts zimeisha threads. You can even change them easily to avoid loss of the. So as a good driver, you must be careful. 3, not the motor vehicle, you must be careful to other road users as well. You must be careful to other road users as well. You must be careful to other road users. Pale barabarani huwa hauko peke yako. There are several drivers. Si ndio? So as a good driver, you must take care of other drivers as well. You must take care of other drivers as well. Now finally, another quality of a good driver must have some courtesy. You must be cautious. You must have some courtesy. You must have some courtesy. What you actually mean here, uweze kuwajali madereva wenzako. Dereva mzuri, uweze kuwajali madereva wenzako. Now we normally say that every time a good driver must exercise what we call defensive drive. Wewe kila mara kwa barabarani, assume madereva wote ni wenda wazimu kasoro wewe. Assume all drivers are mad kasoro wewe. What you actually mean, what I mean here is this: when you're driving the motor vehicle and you're on the right track, let's say for example you are approaching a roundabout. We are told that every time you approach the roundabout, you must give way to vehicles coming from the right. So if this is a roundabout, for example, this is point A and this is point B. When I'm coming from point A, I must give way to vehicles coming from point B. So point B will check to the right. There's no car. So between A and B, who goes first? It's B, because to the right there's no what? Car. But this B, this A, insists of going to the roundabout. So as a good driver, I can hold on, wait for him to go before I get into the roundabout. That shows that I have some courtesy. It shows that I have some courtesy. You drive the motor vehicle, now when kuna sharp bend, you're the first one to go. And there's a guy who wants to overtake. He's changed from his lane to your lane, and he wants to overtake. As a good driver, it's good to hold on, let him overtake. He goes before you do what? You proceed. So those are some of the qualities that a good driver must maintain all the time. There are several qualities, but those are the major ones. So, ready. Now, I believe all of us we've joined because we want to learn. Learning is acquiring knowledge. If you want to acquire knowledge, kuna jinsi ambavyo mwanafunzi unaweza ukasoma. Na kuna njia nyingi sana za kusoma. One of them is by listening. We learn through listening, yeah. Okay, ready? Now you as a student, you actually have got two goals in life. You're aiming here, when you come to Unik driving school, you're aiming to get knowledge and also to get a driver's license. Your main objective is to get knowledge and to get driving license. So umekuja kusoma uweze kupata ujuzi, mafundisho, na mwishowe uweze kupata cheti cha kuruhusu kuendesha gari barabarani, what you call a driver's license. Na kuna njia nyingi sana za kusoma. One of them, you learn by listening. You learn by listening. Now every time you go to an institution, you must be listen. You must be ready to listen. Ama kusikiza. You must listen to the instructions, what the instructors tells you. In learning, there's what called EDIP. There's what called EDIP. EDIP means the instructor will explain. The instructor will explain. Then he'll demonstrate. You as a student, you'll imitate. Then you practice. And with practice, you become perfect. With practice, you become perfect. When I'm explaining, it's your responsibility to listen. Be it in theory class, be it in practicals. When I'm explaining, you must be ready to do what? To listen. And if you feel you have got short memory, it is good to make short notes for easy reference. Kama wewe ni mwanafunzi unakuwa uko na uweza mtu kusahau, ni vizuri unakili hoja muhimu kwa ukumbusho mwepesi. So you must listen at all time. Ikiwa mwalimu explain kitu na hujaelewa, it's good to ask for clarification there and then. And as a student, you make short notes. Are we together? So dereva mzuri, mwanafunzi mzuri, lazima uweze kulisten what the instructor is telling you. 2, we also learn by reading. We also learn by reading. We also learn by reading. Number 2, we learn by reading. We at Unik, we normally give out pamphlets for our students to learn, but there are also some books in the shop. For example, there's a highway code you can buy from the bookshop. There's a highway code. There's a learner's guide. There's a learner's guide and several books you can get from the shop to facilitate your learning to be easier. There's a difference between learning and being taught. Learning and being taught. You can be taught and end up not learning anything. You can be taught and end up not learning anything. Maybe you're forgetful. So another thing, you must read extensively. You read the signs. Ukija kwa class, you take the time to read the signs on your own. You take the time to read the books. When you go home, if you have your free time, you take the time and actually read extensively. If only from that, your learning will be easier and even faster. For example, when you're in primary school or high school, maybe there's a subject, maybe like history or biology or chemistry. If you actually read the topic before the next class, you find the learning is easier. Si ni kweli? Kwa mfano kama, for example, ni chemistry. You know, tumemaliza chapter 1. The next chapter will be about organic chemistry. Mimi nimeenda nyumbani, actually read that part. Now when the instructor will come, or the teacher will come, or the lecturer will come in the class the next day, I'll find it more easier and more faster. So if you want to learn faster, modes of learning, it's actually good to read extensively. You read extensively, make comparisons. Make what? Comparisons. When you come here, maybe there's some signs, for example, there's a pedestrian crossing. Pedestrian crossing. If you read some books, it will be referred to as pelican crossing. Some books it's read as a pelican crossing. Yeah. Another example is, for example, there's a giveaway sign. There's a giveaway sign. Giveaway sign. When you read extensively, you'll find giveaway sign is written as, anyone knows? Yield. Very good. Another sign which is common is, for example, a stop sign. A stop sign, in some books, it's written as halt. Very good. So when you read extensively, it makes your learning easier and even faster.